Hi everybody, welcome back to Warhammer Anonymous here at the Geekery in Shawnee Mission, Kansas. This is a continuation of our monthly series, the Warhammer Anonymous Updates. This is where we're going to go over the events that are coming up in the future for our team, major GTs that we're going to, and previous GTs that we went to, and give you the results of how that went. Results of our previous GT, like we talked about last month, we went to the Free State GT. Four of us went: Calvin, Nathan, Jason, and myself. Jason did the best. He got 12th place. I did the worst. I got 42nd. Was a great event. Just was prior to the data slate dropping. So I played Tau 3 games in a row, and boy, was that an oppressive army. Dark Angels just couldn't stand up to it. But we had a lot of fun, learned a lot of stuff. Now the game seems to be in a better spot. We have the new Tyranid Codex that dropped. That's what I'm going to be going over with you today. This is going to be the list I run for the Dalas Open. Been super excited about it. I've always liked Tyranids. I'm glad that they've come out with the statement that, GW's finally made their statement. No Crusher Stampede, no Leviathan Codex. So it's just going to be base Codex Tyranids, which is a really strong book. This has been the army that I've wanted to run. I've been really excited. I stripped down all of my Tyranid models and made an April project. Everybody was plastic, had to pick up a couple of new kits, and I built this army from scratch, and we're just really hoping to play it at the end of this month at the Dalas Open. So what we'll do is we'll get a close-up of the army, we'll go over the list for you, and this is what I'll be bringing. All right, so this is going to be the list that I'm running at Dalas. We're going to be running a double patrol of Tyranids Behemoth. Behemoth is the Hive fleet for +1 strength on the charge, heroic, or been charged. And then their secondary adaptation is reroll charge rolls. The big reason I'm going with Behemoth is I'm playing a lot of big bugs, so Leviathan's not as good for me, but the biggest reason is Behemoth has a great primary attribute, and then it's got the hyper adaptivity. That's where you can change out the reroll charge rolls to lurk or hunt. The big swings for that are with lurk. You can make all of your monstrous creatures obsec and count as 5 models if they're over 10 wounds. And then all the Carnifexes would be obsec, count as 1 wound. So pretty much the whole army gets to be obsec. The other option is versus your Grey Knights, your Thousand Sons, the Tyranid Mirror Match, Harlequins, and Eldar. The other option is you can take reroll Deny the Witches, which is a great ability for those psychic armies who've really got to do it. So your opponent's like, man, I'm going to take Psychic Interrogation. I'd be impressed if they did that at all. The Tyranid Anti-Psyker is already strong, but it puts you that much further ahead. So if they've got key powers they need to get off, that's the way that you can stop them and try to win the game that way. Now, the army's going to start with 8 CP, so I've purchased 1 extra Warlord trait and 1 extra Relic. We'll go into the double detachments right now, starting with the primary detachment on this side. The Warlord for this detachment is going to be the Hive Tyrant. He's a flying Hive Tyrant. He'll have Toxin Sacs and a Heavy Venom Cannon. He's going to have the Warlord trait of Enhanced Senses, so he gets to reroll all of his to-hit rolls, and he fights first if he's in combat. And then he's going to have the Relic of the Maw Claws of Mithrax. That's going to give him reroll to wounds in melee, +1 attack, and whenever he kills a unit outright in melee, he'll get +1 attack permanently for the rest of the game. He's going to have psychic powers of Paroxysm and Narrow Parasite. That way we can give him a targeted debuff and an ability to do some extra mortal wounds. It's another version of their smite that they're going to have. Second Warlord that I'm running is the Hive Tyrant. He's not quite painted yet, but I've only got 3 guys left, so everybody's almost there. This is going to be the one that everybody kind of talks about. This is the Flying Hive Tyrant with Monstrous Bone Swords, Adrenal Glands, and Toxin Sacs. His Warlord trait is Adaptive Biology, so it's the 5-up, Feel No Pain. And he's got the Relic Reaper of Obliterax. That's the Relic Bone Sword that causes mortal wounds on a successful wound, and then the damage can't be prevented from it. So if you need to kill a Catan or Gazgul or somebody's got Feel No Pains, he's the guy. He's going to go up there, move 20 plus inches in a turn. You're going to onslaught him, and he's going to try to pick up exactly what you want. The benefit is also in this, you get to give him Obsec, so you can go kill a unit or go sit on an objective with him after the fact with Overrun. He's going to be a major player. The other 2 HQs I'm bringing are 2 Neurothropes. They're going to be exact copies of each other. They're both going to have Catalyst and Onslaught. One of them is to get all of your buffs on from the back of the table without being denied. The other one's job is to either be redundant or a Synaptic Link bubble, or to be my Psychic Interrogation. So I'm going to take Psychic in a lot of games, and he's going to be the best way of doing that because I have so much redundant Psychic power that I don't actually need all of it. So he's a good give up. Going with the troops, we're going real bare bones minimum. 2 squads of warriors, both armed with Death Spitters and Scything Talons, just keeping them cheap. Should probably be running them with the Bone Swords, but the big thing that I have on right now is I didn't magnetize these guys, and I truly believe at some point Bone Swords might go up in cost, so I'm just going to try to keep them as future-proof as I can. The first elite, and this is the big mamma jamma of the list, is going to be our Maliceptor. Boom. This is the guy everybody who is saying that this book is a little overtuned is probably focusing on. Maliceptor is going to cast 2 powers, deny 1, T8, 15 wound, 4-up, invuln monstrous creature. His biggest thing is, though, he has an action that he can do to give you a 6-inch aura of reduced strength of shooting attacks by 1. But the big thing is the second part is a Psychic Overload. Whenever he does a Psychic cast or action on a 7 or higher, he just causes 3 mortal wounds to the nearest unit. So in practice, in the turn that you get your Synaptic abilities off, the Maliceptor can be responsible for almost 20 wounds of mortal wounds on a unit, pretty much just in the Psychic phase. So he is the big anti-everything. If you've got to get rid of something, he's the way to get rid of it. It's only 170 points. He's a steal. The biggest thing about this list that I'm working on right now is if I just need to run second of them in case my opponent can kill him, I have a redundant one that can do his job right after. So he's the big powerhouse. Next, I've got a fast attack slot. It's going to be my Moloch. The Moloch is the tech choice. When you can make him OBSEC, he can deep strike just outside of engagement range. So if your opponent's got an objective they have to hold or that they're leaving alone, he can just, boom, come right in, 5 models OBSEC that objective, and then really start turning the game with points. He's that real high-class tech. And then you can just burrow him at the end of a turn and then come up again later. He's got a lot of real good play. Doesn't have the best damage output, but he is a source of mortal wounds, which is the real way this army deals with a lot of stuff. Now we move into the heavy support, and this is all your meat and potatoes of the army. I've got 2 Tyrannifexes with the Flesh Borer Hive. One of them's running the Dermic Symbiosis for 4+. One of them's running Synaptic Enhancement to be a Synapse creature, just to make those radio towers go a little bit further. These guys are going to be 30 plus 8 shots of Strength 5 -1 at 24 inches. This is how I'm going to kill people who are bringing chaff stuff like Termagants or Guard or Poxwalkers. And then just your Volume of Fire is good at getting rid of Marines. Armor of Contempt is making that a little bit harder nowadays, but they are your Volume of Fire deal with stuff option. Now, the heavy hitters are going to be my 2 squads of Carnifexes. These guys are fully decked out. They got heavy venom cannons, twin scything talons, poison sacks, and then they're all running Spore Cysts, so they're all treated as being in light cover all the time. They are going to be doing the most of the work if I need to kill something. The shooting in this army is surprisingly good. You've got 15 heavy venom cannon shots. It's more or less like dealing with Custodes, except for men on 3s instead of 2s. It's really solid. It's been doing a fantastic job of getting on objectives, holding out. I've been beat back a couple of times, but by then sometimes, you've just got so much primary that your opponent can't come back from it just by sitting on the objectives. So I'm really excited to run this list. I've been having a whole lot of fun with it. With Crusher Stampede not being, that was the biggest thing this was kind of aimed at, was wanting to be Crusher. But with Crusher getting kicked back, not a problem. You just kind of adapt and overcome. I'm running a bunch of the big guys. I'm going to finish painting these guys up this week. It's going to be fantastic. Dallas is going to be a lot of fun. Let's get back to me, and I'll be right back. So the Hive Tyrant's going to be my closest to being fully completed. I've got to do his base, but doing a pretty good contrast job. I really like the coconut crab that's gotten really popular on his carapace. So I've been really happy with these guys. I've also got a completed Carnifex right here. I know I'm not the world's best painter, but it's pretty solid for me. John and Jason and all of them do a much better job, so their armies are going to look a little bit better. Well, thank y'all very much for joining us for another monthly update. Sorry we couldn't get a game in this week to put on the channel. The store has been doing a big renovation. It's actually going to be one of the largest stores in Kansas City now for gaming. We've gotten the room to be able to play, I believe, a 60-man event. So we'll be GT level at the Shawnee Mission, the Geekery here. It's going to be fantastic. So this week we've got another game coming up. We're going to get two of our guys going to Dallas. They're going to get a game with both the armies that they're planning on bringing, and then we're going to see how they do, see if they feel really comfortable about it. Well, thank y'all very much for joining us. That's my army. That's us going to Dallas, and this has been Warhammer Anonymous. We will see you next time.